Alright, so we're doing number 4 from the homework, day 2, and we're using law of sines. Now, let me tell you right now, these questions on the tests and quizzes are not going to tell you using law of sines, solve this problem. That's too easy. Okay, it's not going to say using law of cosines, do this problem. You're going to have to figure it out, but all those equations will be at the top of the quiz, okay, and the top of the test. Alright, so this one does tell you for Webasine. So we're going to label it as a default. I'll tell you right now, you're going to default it to a scalene triangle. That means no sides are the same. All sides are different. All angles are different. And then we're going to label it A, B, C. Little a goes across from big A. Little b goes across from big B. And little c goes across from big C. So we have 77 degrees, 38, 25, and we want to find big B, big C, and little c. Okay, so it says use the law of sines to set this up. Okay, so the law of sines is this. It's a simple proportion that you got as far as you have 3 knowns and 1 unknown. Let's see what we can create. Always put our body where the degrees are or the angles are. And my message to you is to shoot across and line it up and pair it up with that opposite side. Okay? So the equation for law of sines is the side over the sine of that angle that it came from. And let's create another pair. Okay, so what pair do you want to grab? Do you want to grab the one that's looking for angle C or the one that's looking for angle B? Which one would you grab? Angle B. Because if I did C, I have 2 unknowns and I have way too many unknowns. Remember, I can only have 1 of the 4 unknowns. I need to know 3 of these pieces. So I'm going to use 25, which comes from angle B. Now look, when I say knowns and unknowns, we know those 3 pieces. The unknown is right here. 4 pieces, you should know 3, or you should be able to find 3, okay? So, now we know we can cross multiply and divide. A lot of you are choosing that, but for the efficiency reasons, instead of doing this, and then dividing both sides by 38, and taking the arc sine, we can just do a solve feature right here and do comma B, because that's what we're looking for. Now I've said it in the video and I'll say it in this video. You have a choice when you do this, that this does all of our dirty work for us. Okay? I don't think that that's an advantage, because the point of content that you're supposed to learn is how to use law of sines and law of cosines. Okay, not the algebra to get to the answer per se, is what we're testing right now. So you use solve, and when you get weird answers, I think that you should switch, oops, W, it's messed up. You go to insolve. So a good rule of thumb that I keep telling students is for angles, okay, of degrees or whatever, use the insolve. Don't use solve, because it'll give you weird answers right now, okay? So for angles, use insolve, which is menu 3-6, and solve is menu 3-1. If you forget that, guys, just use the letters and spell them out. Okay, you have a non-QWERTY keyboard on your calculator, you can just go ahead and use the letters, and you should be able to get it that way. Alright, so let's go ahead and go to the calculator real quick. Let me pull up something real quick. I'm going to sign in, and I'll talk you through how to use this insolve feature for this particular one. Alright, so we have, alright, so 1, no to unsaved changes, new calculator page. And I'm going to solve this thing right here. All of that. Alright, so here we go. And I'm going to insolve it because I'm looking for an angle. So again, you can press in, just like you see down here, S-O-L, and you see it all italicized, but as soon as you finish spelling it, it stands up, because it's a program in the calculator, okay? So insolve parentheses, control enter, and we're just going to plug that in. 38 over the sine of 77. Okay, and is equal to 25 over the sine of x, or b, or theta. I'm going to use theta. What was the number?
You got degree to 77 because you're in radian.
True, 25, I'll get to that here in just a bit, over the sine, let's say theta. So press that pi button, go over, your variable is theta. Judd is right as far as he said you need to put a degree right here. Now this is huge, what I'm about to show you. That will fix that mistake because I'm in radian mode. Right here. Whoops. But the thing is that it's not going to spit out the answer in degrees. It's not. And some of you are probably looking at it saying, well, it's not going to because you need a degree symbol here. That still is not going to spit it out in degree form. So here's a good rule of thumb that I'll tell you right now. For you not to worry about that for now and worry when and where you use it, if you are doing a problem that has degrees, change your mode. Home 5-2, click down to this angle measure, change it to degree, and make it your default. And press OK. So when you go to your current document pressing 4, you see at the very top right, it is in degree mode. Okay? Again, when you see stuff in degrees, put your calculator in degree mode. Now, what's the next button? I want to see if you've been carefully paying attention in that puzzles and everything. What's the next button that I'm going to press? Control. Control, and then what? Enter. So control enter. We want to make sure it's to 3 decimals. They did give us, but in case they didn't, my answer would be 39.869 degrees. Now, let me tell you this. I told them in 6th period. Some people were half listening because they were probably hungry for lunch. But right here, if you write 8, it's going to be correct because you're allowed to be 1 off. If you write 9, it's going to be correct because you rounded. But right now, these aren't fully correct because they're missing what? Degree symbol. If you don't write this, I'm going to take points off every time that you were supposed to have written that. You with me? So let's go back now to our problem, and we're going to say this measure of angle B is going to be 39.869 degrees. How many decimals do we round to? Always by default. 3. Now this quiz will tell you round to 2 decimal places, or round to 20 decimal places. I'm joking. Not 20, but it'll say different decimal places. Make sure you read the instructions, okay? Because they'll be different to make sure that you're reading and that you're not just on automatic pilot.
And this says 2 decimals.
On the website it said 2? Okay, so use 2 on that. Alright, so now you know this is 39.87 degrees. So we could solve for C without doing law of sines or without doing law of cosines. How do we do that? Add them up and subtract from 180. Nice. It's Walter, right? Nice. So if I'm adding them up, we'll say 30. Watch me. Look what I do. I want you to do this, okay? We're going to add the answer, not rounded, but the one that they gave us. Okay? Remember, we always round to as many decimal places, at least 6 throughout the problem, and then 180 minus that answer, and you get it like that. This is what I want you to round. So 6313 is going to be right here. So the only piece that I have to solve for now is side C. Go with me? Alright, so let's set this one up. We're going to use law of sines again. I want little c, and I know it'll happen if I take the sine of 63.13, and I'm going to write this to 6 decimal places at a good habit. So 114 degrees. Which ratio do y'all want to use here? The B or the A? A. You could use B, but if you got B wrong, you're going to get this one wrong, right? So if I use A, which was given to me, I could say I stand a more chance of getting it correct, and you're going to do it. Okay, let me ask you this. Solve feature or in solve feature? Solve feature. because insolve is just for angles. So a good rule of thumb is C, what you're looking for, is not an angle. So we can just do the solve feature. And yes, we could use the letter C, we could use Q, we could use whatever letter we want. We just have to make sure it matches up. So let's go to our calculator real quick. So we're going to menu 3.1, control, what was the ratio? What was it? Anyone? Oh. So it was 38 over 77 with the sign. So 38 over the sign of 77. Do I need to put a degrees right now? Nope, because it's already in degree mode. Is equal to, let's put C over the sine of what we got. And what did we get? We got 63 point all that mess. I can just go up there and watch this. Control C, go down, Control V to paste, just like on your keyboard. And then kick out, comma C. Your answer is going to be 34.79. Any questions? In feet, centimeters, units, whatever it is that they gave you. Are we good? Alright. So that one is good.